Hello, everybody, and welcome back to This Day in History. It is May 16th, 2024. I want to start off and talk about my dad, my stepdad. Bob West was he was an amazing human being, and today's his birthday. He was born in 1936, so if I do the math, he would have been 88 today. My dad was a policeman. He was a good, honest type. So he was the benchmark that I tend to judge law enforcement officers by. And happy birthday in heaven, Dad. I miss you. I miss you every day. But he was the dad that he didn't have to be. You know, he was a stepdad. When he and my mom separated, he still took us boys on weekend visitations and week-long visitations, and we would spend Christmas with him. I mean, he was the dad he didn't have to be, but he's the dad that I'm glad I had. So I miss him terribly. So I mean, this is just a special tribute to him while I embrace this day in history. I had a flat tire. I had to go to the tire shop, and so I'm late for work as it is. So I'm just gonna wrap this up real quick. And here comes that squirrel, thinking I'm going to feed him. Let's see if he comes up. At any rate, so let's start with the birthdays. Let's see. Hey, buddy. Well, hi. I don't have anything for you. I'm sorry. So in 1801, William Seward was born. Now, if you don't know who William Seward was, he was the guy. He was the Secretary of State. He was the guy responsible for the purchase of Alaska. It was known as Seward's Folly because a lot of people thought that it was a wasted effort and worthless frontier land to buy. But that was his birthday in 1801. In 1861, he's another Triple H, not the Triple H from WWE, but H. Holmes was born in 1861, and the only thing I really know about him is that he was an American serial killer. Yay. 1905, Henry Fonda was born. And if you don't know who Henry Fonda is, he was an American actor. Gone with the Wind is probably, or not Gone with the Wind, On Golden Pond, excuse me. On Golden Pond was probably one of his most famous movies that he was known for later on in his career. He was also in Easy Rider. He was in a few World War II flicks. Good actor. In 1919, Liberace, he was an American pianist. He was born on this day in 1919. In 1953, Remington Steele fame, James Bond fame, Pierce Brosnan, he was born on this day in 1953. In 1955, a Soviet gymnast by the name of Olga Korbut, she participated in the 1972 Munich Games, the Olympic Games. She was born on this day in 1955. In 1966, Janet Jackson was born. If you don't know who Janet Jackson is, you must be living under a rock. American singer, songwriter, pop star. Yeah, she was Michael Jackson's sister. She was born on this day in 1966. So happy birthday, Janet. I don't know that you'll ever see this video, but happy birthday to you. You share my stepdad's birthday. So let's go to this day in history. So 1770, Marie Antoinette marries Louis the 16th. He wasn't king yet, but when they got married, he was the would-be king. In 1866, if you've ever wondered why your 5-cent piece here in the United States, why your 5-cent piece is called the nickel, it's because that in 1866, Congress had passed the legislation to create the 5-cent piece, requiring that it be made out of copper and nickel. So it's literally called the nickel because it is made of the metal known as nickel. In 1868, the first of the 2 key votes in the Senate regarding the Andrew Johnson impeachment process took place. And as you well know, or if you don't know, he was eventually acquitted and allowed to stay in power. He was not voted out of office because we've never had a president who's actually been kicked out of office due to the impeachment. We've come close. The closest we've ever had to a president being removed from office was Richard Nixon removing himself when he resigned. So in 1920, Joan of Arc was canonized as a saint by Pope Benedict the 15th. So, she was a French heroine. She did a lot for France during the 100 Years' War. She was actually executed as a heretic because she claimed that God spoke to her personally, and that's what compelled her to lead men in the trenches there, because back then women weren't supposed to be serving in the military, but she was a warrior. So in 1929, if I'm understanding what I read right, it's the first time the Academy Awards actually took place, and Janet Gaynor and Emil Jannings were the first to win their respective Academy Awards for Best Actor, Actress, what have you. In 1961, there was a military takeover of South Korea. Now, mind you, it wasn't a coup by the North Koreans. It was in-house. General Park Chung-hee had taken over. By a military takeover, he'd taken over the country. He had suspended any kind of political activity for a time, and basically kind of ran it as a de facto military run government. Didn't say how long that had taken place, but just that it was on this day in 1961 that's what he'd done. He'd taken over the government. In 1966, the Beach Boys released their album Pet Sounds. And 20 years later, 1986, the movie Top Gun was released. I deliberately skipped over this last one because I want it to be the final point of today's this day in history. And this takes place in 1943. It's during World War II. It's the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, and this is the day that uprising was suppressed by the Germans. And what it was is that you had Polish Jews resisting the efforts of the Germans in trying to round them up and deport them off to the Treblinka, which was one of the concentration camps that the Germans had. And it was, to their credit, they had kept the resistance up going along, but for the most part, all it did was delay the inevitable. Obviously, good for the Poles to fight back. They did fight back, and I have nothing for you, buddy. I'm sorry. That squirrel. They did fight back, but ultimately, in the end, the Germans had quelled the rebellion, and suppressed the uprising and then sent them all to Treblinka, where I imagine a lot of them died. So I have a lot of mad respect for the Jewish people and all they've gone through, and the fact that they put up a fight against an evil regime, and so mad love and respect to them for that. So this has been this day in history for May 16th. Of course, we will do it again tomorrow for May 17th, but this was a special day, and unfortunately I didn't get to go up to my dad's grave today because the tire, and now that I've spent money on a tire that I would have had for maybe to go take a trip up to a cemetery, but I'll go up there soon, and I'm sure Dad would be very forgiving. He would be very understanding, and so yeah. So I'm going to sign off now because now I have to get to work. So have a blessed day. Take care, and we'll see you again tomorrow for this day in history for May 17th. All right? Take care. Bye.